Come on.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the Bit of Popcorn, and today we're gonna talk about the famous Raccoon City. Let's go.
2, 3.
I would like to start with the fact that this movie managed to awake a long-forgotten feeling from the childhood in me. It transferred me back in the time when I used to go to this game room and play Resident Evil there. First time I catch that picture of Leon running through this cool town where walls are full of bricks and those streets reminding me of the very famous New York City. By the way, I love New York City. I was there this summer and I had unforgettable time. September 30th, 1998, Raccoon City. The once beautiful town is slowly on the edge of destruction after the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella decided to move its headquarters from here. Claire Redfield comes to the town to find her brother Chris, who is a police officer. Claire has important information for him. The girl is convinced that Umbrella has turned Raccoon City into a secret testing ground for human experiment. But Chris has neither the time nor the desire to listen to his sister. Having left for an urgent call, he enters that famous mansion. Where some police officers has recently disappeared. From now on, for Claire and Chris, the night will turn into one giant nightmare, getting out of which will be almost impossible. Most importantly, the new film adaptation of Resident Evil is first of all an atmospheric and gloomy horror and not some science fiction action movie. From the point of view of the plot, the film by Brighton Johannes Robert, who also made these movies, The Cursed School, The Strangers, Pray at Night, 47 meters down, is a loose retelling of the first two parts of the game and not so much the original version as the recent remake. Moreover, the horror, although it contains many references to game, is clearly designed primarily for a wide audience that is not familiar with the Resident Evil universe. The first thing I want to say is that the script for the new Resident Evil does not come down to playing cutscenes from the game, but effectively use the carefully thought out setting of Raccoon City as a ghost town on the verge of a local apocalypse. The entire action of the film takes place over the course of one night, and the dynamics increase gradually from a strange incident on the way to the city to a race against time on the underground railway.
Go get the others. I'll find a way out.
The tempo of events may seem a bit slow, especially to those who grew up with the films of Paul Anderson, who didn't like to waste time on long introductions. Meanwhile, Robert's approach is definitely closer to the original source, especially to the first part. After all, Resident Evil began as a horror in which neither the characters nor the players fully understood what kind of game was happening around for a long time. The feeling of nervous suspense is a very important aspect of the film. Resident Evil Raccoon City is a very claustrophobic movie. Heroes are constantly hiding somewhere, being locked within four walls or wandering in the dark, illuminated only by rare flashes of gunshots. The sense of imminent threat is underlined by the camera work of Maxim Alexander. He filmed, by the way, The Hills Have Eyes, Mirrors, and Movie Crawl, skillfully playing with shadows and color palette. As same as in the games, the darkness in Resident Evil is very different. Yellowish, cold blue, pitch black, but always dangerous. We could expect that more and more of new monsters constantly jump out of it, but in the film there are particularly no screamers that set the teeth on the edge. Roberts is a director who has worked extensively in a horror, and he relies on a smooth sinking into the atmosphere and not on the harsh sounds and scary faces. The monsters, however, are fine. In addition to traditional zombies, we will be shown infected crows and Dobermanns, as well as the famous mutant, the Licker. But the highlight of the program will appear as usual in the final, and the fans of the game of course know what I'm talking about. Although the design and appearance of the main mutant in the film are slightly changed compared to the game, he still looks spectacular, especially during the last fight. And here is the time to talk about a couple of serious shortcomings of the film. Firstly, not everyone will like the new images of a classic character, and this is the case when the unhappiness of the fans is easily explained. If the appearance of Jill Valentine can still be somehow accepted, the Leon S. Kennedy in the image of Latin American handsome brunette will be more difficult to perceive. But to hell with him and with the color of his hair. The updated Officer Kennedy behaves like a dorky recruit who is shaking at every noise. It is Leon who is the only comic character in the entire film, and it is not clear why they added so many flat jokes to him. Miscast is especially noticeable against the background of the very accurate heat in the image with Claire, Albert Wesker, or even Chief of the Police Iron. And yet all these annoying defects cannot spoil the overall impression of the new Resident Evil. This reboot turned out to be a solid, if not perfect, action horror that pays respect to the original source, but does not turn the film into a set of beautiful scenes and vivid images for fan service. I would like to believe that in the upcoming sequel, and Raccoon City looks like exactly the introductory chapter in the new franchise, the rich legacy of Resident Evil will be just as carefully and professional as they did in this. P.S. Don't leave after the credits roll. There is a cutscene in which Wesker gets his sunglasses from the hand of a well-known Resident Evil 2 character. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Like if you liked it, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment, and see you in the next episode.